demasiadas veces. No hay más mentiras que pueda creer. Mi fiel cariño se hundió en las penas sin consolar y sin poder amanecer. Miguel, ya no te esperaré en las noches. Me voy ante la aurora soledad. Y aunque todo mi ser te añora, y aunque mi corazón te llora, nunca me vas a convencer de volver contigo, Miguel.
ご注文は以上でお揃いでしょうか。
はい。
食の方を選んでいただきましたがいかがなさいますか。かしこまりました。こちらの席どうぞ。
清正は紀後一国の領主となり、漢の北西村民、大国や慶長11年からパリが完成。これをから熊本城はさらなる拡張が丘陵を 3つの釜が削り、中世には漁師たちがこの地の人に清正は両国の守り
仮設の大屋根がせが復旧工事
See that look in your eyes. I've been open for a love like you for a long, long time. We got laughter, we got tears, we got each other nothing we can't do. Here we are, dear, hand in hand. No more plans, just our love here. Again and again I'll say I do. I'll be by your side, even when I walk right out the door. You will always be mine. Hand in hand, no more plans, just our love here. Again and again I say I do. Hand in hand, no more plans, just our love. Again and again I'll say it, I do. I do. I do.
メインか。
Woke up to the smell of a roses dress laid out in white. Wondering if you're getting ready. Wondering if you've got butterflies. Everyone seems so excited. Mom is already crying. No need to rush the thing, we're just beginning. We got nothing but time. 'Cause every day with you is the best day of my life. That tux is looking good and this wedding ring is nice. If I could be honest, forever's looking bright. Every day with you is the next best day of my life. It's the next best day of my life. Ben's got the baseline ready. The boys straightening up their ties. The girls' dresses muddy, but I can't help but smile. The preacher's at the front patiently waiting, while I'm dreaming memorable and the pictures from today will all be faded, but I still feel this way. 'Cause every day with you is the best day of my life. That tux is looking good and this wedding ring is nice. If I could be honest, forever's looking bright. 'Cause every day with you is the next best day of my life. It's the next best day of my life. You're the next best day. Don't care if no one else believes me. I know exactly how I feel. Our love is all the proof I'm needing. Can't convince me that this isn't real. Every day with you is the best day of my life.